Continuing our story, we have the four hunters performing like a well-oiled machine against the risen Shugar Magala. Despite all the creatures that can do, despite all the things that this creature can do, everyone has a role to play. Hiccup and Grimlock are both offensive and defensive battlers, with Grimlock being the shield and Hiccup hitting him with any arrow he possibly could. Astrid is able to get underneath and slice at the limbs. Meanwhile, Elsa is able to trip the monster over and use her icing abilities to trip the monster up. She even goes to work with her dual blade, slicing at the limbs, even at the wing areas of the Shugar Magala, making it much harder for it to fly. But as the fight intensifies and the Shugaru starts to use its risen energy, Astrid says, I think it's time that they end this. And she actually asks Elsa and Grimlock to do a combo move. To which Elsa says, babe, are you ready? And Grimlock says, yes, but probably not what you're expecting. To which Elsa doesn't really look too concerned at him as she throws a blast of ice in the air, and Grimlock simply pretty much lifts the mouth part of his mask up and unleashes the unholy flame of a Shadamador. I mean, look at that thing. It is just massive. And this is where Grimlock walks up to now the bodily traumatized or nervous system traumatized Shugar Magala and stabs it. Grimlock then walks off as he congratulates his team, telling them that he hopes they do the right thing and protect the other villages. But the others notice that Grimlock is walking past the Shugar Magala corpse. And Elsa asks him, you can't be doing this. You can't do this now. And to which Grimlock says that he's unbeatable. He's unstoppable now. He can permanently put his father down. And this is when Hiccup tells him, and what if he puts you down? We can't risk that. We have to work together in order to actually be able to do this. You know this. And Astrid backs him up on this, that we've all come this way together to help you, and you can't just abandon us and hope that we do something we don't even know if we can do without you. And Elsa tells him this wasn't their plan. She can't risk actually losing him to his father, to Daggeron, to this Fatalis monstrosity. And to which Grimlock says this is his problem. It's his father, it's his family ordeal that he has to deal with. He doesn't want to drag them into this. But just as he turns his back, Hiccup prepares his bow and arrow, and it's filled with dragon energy, telling him that he's not going to take another step unless he takes them with him. Astrid readies her switch axe and seconds Hiccup's opinion, saying that they're in this together one way or another, life and death. And Elsa also agrees, drawing her dual blades, saying that life and death, we're in this together. And this is when a storm appears. It's the power of Shantian as lightning begins to crackle and rain begins to fall around. Grimlock is preparing a lightning strike, but he doesn't want to hit them. Grimlock tells them that they are not going to beat him. They don't have a chance at beating him with these powers, with these abilities. With his skill, his newfound strength, no one could beat him. Not anyone, and especially not them. This catches Astrid's attention, and she says, you want to bet? Within the first few minutes, a lightning strike hits the ground, causing everyone to dodge, and they all engage with Grimlock, who's using his charge blade. Definitely charge blade. Using his charge blade to combat everyone. He's actually proving his point, actually. And he's deflecting them, beating them, pretty much predicting their movements pretty easily. It's the master versus his students, albeit they are his friends now. And this is where he uses the new Flame of Dalmador to even pretty much prove his point that they can't beat him. However, he gets a little too overconfident, and just as he deflects an arrow from Hiccup, Astrid comes down, actually separating him from his shield. Hiccup then takes that opportunity to actually hit him with 2 concussive arrows, staggering him and knocking him back, and then explosive arrows to knock him off his feet. Grimlock regains himself, grabbing his sword and blocking an axe strike from Astrid, and kicks her away. However, as he runs to go and grab his shield, he slips on ice, and Elsa uses that opportunity to not only flip kick him, but then puts her blades to his throat. She then smiles at him. "Learned your lesson? We beat you because you were way too overconfident." To which Grimlock does let out a growl, but he agrees. He was overconfident. He thought these powers and abilities gave him an upper hand, and he didn't use them properly. To which Elsa also notes that she could tell he was holding back. He didn't use Amatsu's tornadoes or Shantian's lightning strikes in a lethal manner. However, Elsa tells him that if they're going to fully save the entire world, they need to work together. No matter what happens, they're all in this together. To which she helps Grimlock up and tells them they need to move. We then get a little desert montage of them taking on basically desert-based monsters. They go through Glavenuses, Ebony Odogorons. They go through Diablos, even encountering another bloodbath, to which Grimlock says, "We're really doing this again?" And to also which Hiccup says, "These guys are really, really rare." They even take down a Monoblos, but they actually knock it out because they know it's an endangered species. They manhandle an Anjanath, and some of them are killed and some of them are not. And they make sure that none of them have any children, and that pretty much makes a decision of whether or not they're going to kill them or let them live. However, they make it to the temple anyway. Despite the hardships, despite the troubles, they make it to the desert temple, and then they are greeted by Grimlock's father, Daggeron, who is sitting on a desert throne, admiring the work he's done across the world. Hunters and elder dragons at war once again. Grimlock then steps to his father, telling him that he challenges him and that he's ready to kill him. But before Daggeron gives a response, he snaps his fingers, and out comes a 4 Heavenly King Deviljho. Grimlock then looks to his team. "Can you handle it?" To which Astrid says, "Like we got a choice." Grimlock then walks one way with his father, while the team walks the other way with the Divine Heavenly Deviljho. Sorry, the 4 Heavenly. To which Daggeron tells him they could have ruled as father and son, and now you're in possession of my creature's greatest enemy. To which Grimlock says, "You mean the creature that's actually meant to protect and save this world? There is nothing more than I'd like to do than to finally end the man who caused me so much suffering." To which Daggeron states, "You'll never know what true power is, what it means to really stand alone, to be the pinnacle of power, and that's where you disappoint." Without any hesitation, he unleashes Crimson Lightning upon his son. For those of you who don't know, this means that he was going to erase his son from existence. However, he immediately counters with Shantian's lightning, blasting it back and actually causing an explosion of red and blue. This is where his father follows up with Fatalis' infamous Fire Breath, Black Fatalis' Fire Breath, by the way. And Grimlock, with little to no choice here, counters it with Shao Dalmador's Blue Flame. And this time it pushes back the fire, basically beating it out completely. He then hits his father with a final flash style of Blue Shantian Lightning, followed up with a Hurricane to throw him off. He then hits him with another series of lightning strikes to stun him, and then a full-powered Amatsu Tornado, pulverizing him so hard that he goes through the temple and destroys it completely. Meanwhile, the team is able to not only go toe-to-toe with this 4 Heavenly King Devil Joe, but they're able to defeat it in a high diff battle, with Elsa running over and hugging her beloved, asking him if the fight is actually over. However, her answer is met with a transformed Daggeron sporting all 3 heads of Fatalis. But it goes even further as he gives a speech about how his son could have been this. He could have been power incarnate as the 3 heads fuse together, forming an ultimate Fatalis. A Fatalis meant to destroy everything. Hiccup then simply looks to Grimlock and asks him, "I hope you got something big enough to take that on." To which Grimlock chuckles and puts his sword and shield down and walks towards it. He then runs, sprints up and hugs his father, the beast thrashing about as he says, "Hope you like hugs, father," or "Hope you like a tight squeeze." You know, something along those kind of jokes here. And this is where we see Grimlock transform and wrap around this giant Fatalis as a fully grown Shah Dalmador. And that's where we're going to leave it off here, you guys. Be sure to comment down below, like, and subscribe and share with your friends. And I'll see you guys for the finale, which is part 5. Peace.